So the thing is that there are over 100 types of cancer.
Okay.
There are so many. Over 100 parts of human body can be impacted by cancer.
Okay.
So you can hear. But the thing again is that in Nigeria, there are some cancers that are more prevalent. There are some that are, less prevalent. There are some that people don't even really know it exists, but it still happens.
Wow.
But let me try to really talk about these types of cancer from the perspective of which one are more prevalent in the country.
Okay.
So in Nigeria, for instance, we over 124,000 people are really diagnosed of cancer every single year, and about 73,000 of them usually die of this disease every single year. And of all these different types of cancer, one cancer known as breast cancer is actually the leading cause of death
in Nigeria.
So it's like the top.
Okay.
So more women are really being diagnosed of cancer, of course, because breast cancer is more prevalent in women than men. Many people don't also know that even men also have breast cancer as well.
I've heard about that before.
Yes, men also have breast cancer. Then after breast cancer, it's actually followed by cervical cancer. In fact, according to WHO, cervical cancer, for instance, almost about in Nigeria, over 20 women die of cervical cancer every single day in Nigeria. Yeah. And then from there, the next one that is following that is prostate cancer. So if you want to break it down to men or women, then prostate cancer is actually the leading cause of death among men. And for men, almost 15 men die of prostate cancer every single day. That's about almost 14,000 or even every single year. And then we now have other cancers like colorectal cancer. Colorectal cancer is those cancer that is in the intestine, in the gastrointestine. Okay. Yeah, in the body. Usually when people have that, they usually see blood in their stool and, the pains and all those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And there are also other ones like lung-chain lymphoma. We have the liver cancer. We have the cancer of the lungs, which is really grossly associated with smoking. We have so many others. We have, the blood cancer, which is very popular, and many people also survive from that as well. Yeah.
Wow, that's quite, revealing, so to speak. Now, we also have issues of misdiagnosis, especially I've met people personally that have been misdiagnosed and all of that. So talk to us about that, cases of misdiagnosis, where is the right place to go, what to do basically in terms of trying to check your status for cancer.
So one thing I will always talk about misdiagnosis is also important to explain what is even the diagnosis of cancer first before misdiagnosis.
Yeah.
So I think it's important because when people hear the word cancer, most people don't really think about cancer as the way it is, So a lot of people just know that there is a disease known as cancer and it is a death sentence, right? That's not really true. A lot of people have been diagnosed and they still survive. But the issue is when they were diagnosed. And that's why you hear our campaign is focused about early detection and early treatment. So for diagnosis of cancer, for instance, like for breast cancer, it has to go with doing mammogram. From mammogram, you could also probably now move to what they call biopsy. Biopsy means taking some small part of the body to really do what? To go and test. That's to take that part that was affected by the cancer, to go and test and really know if that tumor is really cancerous. Did you see the process now?
Yeah.
And from then, when they are coming, they now test not just to know if it's cancerous, but to also test if the tumor, you understand, what type of cancer is it? Because breast cancer is a type, but there is still subtypes. There is triple negative, there is HER2 positive. There are multiple types of breast cancer, even in breast cancer classification. You see? And then after that process, that is when a doctor can say for sure that this is what the diagnosis of this woman is, or this is what the diagnosis of this man is.
It's all about.
But the problem with misdiagnosis now is that it happens from different parts. Sometimes it happens from mistakes from probably the people who are handling the tissue. It might not necessarily be from the oncologists, that's from the oncologists themselves. It could really be maybe from the pathologist or from the lab technician or from other people who are handling the labeling of the tapes and all the rest. Because we have had a situation whereby a lady was diagnosed. They said she was diagnosed of cancer. She went through 6 courses of chemo. Finished that, she did 1 session of radiotherapy, and afterward, that was when she was when one of the doctors checked and said, "No, can you go and do this test? Let's check again." She went back to bring the slide of the test. That was when they confirmed that she never had cancer in the first place.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. But this lady has gone through chemotherapy. She has gone through 1 session of radiotherapy. So this could be from how the people in the lab was not able to label the specimen properly, the tissue properly, or maybe some mistake in the use of the reagent and stuff like that. And then they come back and give this person a diagnosis of cancer when the person never had that diagnosis. I've also seen a situation whereby a breast cancer patient was also being treated for a specific type of breast cancer. However, that's not the specific type she had. So she was receiving a treatment that wasn't going to attack the cancer itself. It was really, dealing with something else.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. So the reality is that when you talk about misdiagnosis, I always like to bring this explanation so people understand how those things could happen. These things happen because of quack, because of, people really visiting hospitals that are not specialized hospital. The federal government presently have 16 oncology centers of excellence. Across the country. These centers of excellence are the place that the government have checked and seen that these places have been designated as a place where if you have cancer, you can be treated. But sometimes because of ignorance, our people really approach some other people or some other doctor, maybe because of proximity, who are not specialists, for them to do what? To diagnose and treat them.
But Runcie, let me still take you on that misdiagnosis, right?
Yeah.
One of the problems, like I think you noted that too, is the fact that sometimes it gets a little too late before people get to discover that they have cancer.
Yes.
Now, sometimes some, symptoms could be presenting itself in an individual.
Yes.
And they'll be treating you for malaria, typhoid, and other things. Instead of them to go in depth to investigate what could really be the problem, up until maybe when the symptoms escalate and the individual starts becoming really very sick, and that's when they're now like, okay, maybe by that time the thing has started eating the body or has gone to an advanced stage, because I know that it's in different stages, right? Once maybe it is discovered at the early stage, it could the chances of curing it or actually fighting it is way better than when it advances. So what do you say to situation where people, every time you go to the hospital, you're told you have malaria, and it could just be something.
Yes.
No in-depth investigation and all of that. Still part of, what you're talking about with misdiagnosis and all of that.
Yes. I mean, you're absolutely correct about that. You see, that's why what I would always recommend anytime, any day to everybody is second opinion.
Okay.
Do not just rely to this doctor, this hospital say this, and that's it. Try and also check other place and confirm. Because cancer is a life-changing diagnosis. If you have cancer today, it will change the whole of your life. People who have had cancer will tell you. It will change their eating. It will change the level of exercise they could do. It's also impact on their life. And the thing about some cancers is that some people have cancer, they will have to see a doctor for the whole rest of their life. Did you see what I mean? So it's a life-changing diagnosis, and I really always encourage people, why don't try others, check other place, second opinion. If what this person is telling you is it's really not sounding too appropriate to you, visit another facility, do another test, and just find out.
But talking about those 16 centers of excellence that you talked about, does that mean you have to go to either of this for them to test or to check if you have cancers, or cancer can be checked in any hospital whatsoever? Can it be diagnosed?
No, not necessarily. You know, any diagnostic center, to the best of my knowledge, any diagnostic center, for instance, that has mammogram could really check, which is just a screening to know if a woman have lump.
Okay.
Or maybe if she realized that there is nuptial deviation, that her, like that the woman's nipple is actually deviating to another point where it is not. Scientifically, it is known that most women's breasts are not equal in size, right? And it changes at different time of the month, right? But however, a woman should be able to know herself. That's what we really preach. We tell women, know your breast, right? The same thing is also applicable to other cancer, like men, right? Also know your body. For a man, know when things begin to change. When you want to go and urinate, you're beginning to see something else. You're beginning to really see symptoms that are not what you used to see in your genitals. Then that is when it calls for something to be checked. You don't necessarily need to go to all the 16 or to go to must be all the 16. You need to go to those 16 oncology centers when it has reached to the level of treatment.
Okay.
Because those are the places that can really do additional tests to really check out. But for diagnosis, for screening and diagnosis, almost all the diagnostic centers that have mammogram can check. And for men, the test for it is prostate-specific antigen test.
So, but you're talking of mammogram. Is that not just for females?
It's for female, yeah.
But what about, you talked about like lung cancer, blood cancer, all these other maybe rare forms of cancers too.
Yeah.
Can that also be?
Oh, yes. Some of them have screening tools, some don't have. So some don't have screening tools, some actually have diagnostic tools, because the reason is that if, for instance, someone is having a symptom of lung cancer, right? We don't have a lot of lung cancer, liver cancer, and those cancers of the body system that are more internal, that are external compared to this, the breast and all the rest, yeah? It will require biopsy. And it's not advisable to start thinking of biopsy when you are not sure of the symptoms. And biopsy is not something you do as a screening mechanism. It's something you do as a pure diagnosis. It's something sometimes has to be done under anesthesia, or, something that by then there have been a clarity of what it should be, right? But the good news is that people should really know that some cancer have screening, like colorectal cancer. If anybody who is listening to me have been really having something like, you are stooling. Every time you go to toilet, you try to wipe, you see blood. Right?
You need to
or you're having a lot of anal pain, and you've tried to treat it and they keep telling you it's ulcer. They keep telling you ulcer. You go back, they keep telling you it's ulcer. And then you go back sometimes, they're telling you it's hemorrhoid, which we call pile. That is a trigger for you to know that you need to do what they call endoscopy. For you now to check properly, for the doctor to check properly, because endoscopy now is to open the person's anus, to check properly. Sometimes they use other forms like Sigmund endoscopy or even capsule endoscopy to check properly and check that colon and the rectal region to know if there's any polyp or any lump or anything. And then they treat it, or probably, start giving any form of treatment.
Okay. All right, guys, we're talking about World Cancer Day. Comes up 4th of February, but then also trying to raise awareness about cancer, different types of cancer. And when we come back from this break, we'll be talking about the walk, right?
Yes.
And other activities around World Cancer Day. Stay with us.
Abuja, our mic is always on. That's why we give you the microphone to take your business to a higher level. Get your branding to a household name in Abuja and beyond. Call our sales executive, Tunde 080 999 30140. Aleji 080 9526 7141. Let's get your business on the radio and be heard.
Audio Jungle.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
Connection established.
Hi everyone, my name is Swat. That's the name my father gave me, but you can always call me Her Vocal Majesty. I'm the host of The Sunny Side on 95.1 Nigeria Info. It takes place every weekday, noon to 3 p.m., where we get to have all the lovely contemporary conversations. If your days are normally long and gloomy, well, not anymore, because I'm here to make it all bright and sunny for you. So join me. It's an invitation. You don't want to miss out.
This is Nigeria Info.
That it could lead to cervical cancer.
Okay.
So the interesting thing is that, which is also a very painful thing, is that a man can really pass on the HPV virus to a woman, but a man does not have cervix. So unfortunately, when a man has it and the man passes it to the woman will be at a greater risk of having it.
Yeah.
The other bad news again is that, and when women have this, is a slow-growing cancer. It means that you could have it, the person could have it now and may not see it till like maybe 5 or even more years.
Yeah,
By
so-
then, when you start bleeding, the person start bleeding from their genital, it's already too late. So we encourage everyone to really take their HPV vaccine. And right now, we are really working with the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. The vaccine is absolutely free of charge for young people between the age of 9 and 14. So during this our event, we're going to be providing the HPV vaccine.
What
free
about
of
older
charge.
women?
Yes, older women can also have the vaccination, right? If they test and ensure they don't have the HPV
I just did mine
virus.
I think last month or something.
Oh,
so.
wow.
Yes.
That's good. That's good.
So that's why I'm asking. I'm like, so that I'll quickly just go and take the
Yes.
vaccine and all of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if a woman actually older, you can actually do the HPV test and then make sure that they don't have it. Then they can take
The
the
vaccine.
vaccine.
All right.
However, for for this our program, because the government is really more focused on protecting the girls at this time.
Yes.
It's believed that if you are older, you already maybe working and may have access to money, can use the private facility.
Oh, yes.
But for the government program at this time, government is really focusing more on
the girls.
on the girls,
No, I think it's a very good one. Honestly, it's a very good one. Okay, you guys can join in the conversation if you have questions, if you have comments to make. This one says prevention is better than cure, as they say, but what are the ways in which this illness called cancer? Okay, I think we just even finished talking about that. That's Evans Mega on Facebook. Obiam Joseph said, you're doing well, keep up the good work. And Patrick Ochibo says, thanks for this information. Let's see if we have messages. We'll get to talk about the cancer walk in a bit. Let's see what comments we have here. The Vocal Majesty and our guest, good afternoon. Please, is it possible that one can be diagnosed of breast cancer without her having or feeling any lump in the breast?
Oh, yes.
That's
it's
Lily
possible.
from Kurudu.
Yes, it's possible. There could be other symptoms. It could be nuptial deviation.
Okay.
It could be retraction of the breast nipple. It could also be the changes, color changes in the breast, looking like the back of the orange. Yeah, there are also people who will not even have any form of lump.
Wow.
But it means that maybe some of those lump or something are actually probably they are part of their arm. And they cannot really feel it. So what I would really recommend is for that person to really come for screening so that it could be checked, or even visit any close diagnostic center for them to check it out.
All right, that's interesting. So I hope you're catching that. Good afternoon and happy new month, Swat. And our guest, Wilson Emmanuel, he said, I think one of the causes of high mortality rate in our healthcare system is wrong diagnosis. Beyond cancer, many people have died of other illnesses as a result of wrong diagnosis. This results in people taking wrong treatment until their situation gets worse, leading to death. Good afternoon, Nigeria Info. It's Levon Kortan, a law firm from LifeCamp. Please, let's touch our light about hepatitis. Let's touch light on hepatitis.
That's a very, very important point.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me know when you want me to talk about it. I should go ahead?
Yes, please go ahead.
Oh, please. I want to say special thanks to the person who raised that up, because so several years ago, we've never added hepatitis into our screening. So for all our events, we just do breast cancer screening, prostate cancer screening, and we just do other screenings. But we realize data has shown that liver cancer is on the increase. And that is because right now, most of us who were born after 2014 never had hepatitis vaccine when we were young.
Okay.
Because it was in 2014 that the hepatitis vaccine was introduced into the government routine program. Right? So what it means is that people like me that was born before 2014, I may already have been affected by hepatitis long time ago.
Yes.
You understand, right? And hepatitis has been found to really be responsible for liver cirrhosis and possibly, when the viral load is higher, to cause liver cancer. So you see that intersection. Painfully, many Nigerians do not know, have never even gotten any test or even gotten any vaccine for hepatitis. So that is so important. And even in our program today, we've added hepatitis screening into the program as well.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. All right. Adadi Rahman, the guest, discussion on the World Cancer Day is apt. But the way things are in our society, only the super rich or money bags that can go to quite expensive treatment, that can go for quite expensive treatment for cancer. I've stumbled on so many Nigerians who had cancer, but they did not have the money to go for treatment. They managed to move about their lives as if the sickness is their portion in life. There was a time in my community, a woman that didn't have children was having protruding tummy as if she was pregnant. Even when she had passed the age of childbirth, the local people accused one elderly man to have used diabolical power to inflict her with what my people call ekoafo in Igbo language, or sickness of protruding tummy. Many people that call themselves men and women of God have also labeled many forms of cancer as the handwork of Satan or wicked people, usually from villages. May I know if your guest and his colleagues are doing anything to check the havocs these religious guys dish out to the unsuspecting Nigerians under the statement that before it happens in the physical, it must first happen in the spiritual? Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
So
That's
you heard
also
that.
a very, very important remark. And to be very honest, yeah, there is a lot of issues with financial toxicity because cancer is such an expensive disease. It's very, very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's such a shame. People will really have to really suffer to pay for cancer treatment. Yeah.
But in some of these government facilities that you talked about, like
Yeah.
how affordable are these treatments? I mean,
So the good thing is that there are also government programs that are supporting cancer treatment. That is what they call the Cancer Health Fund, which is only happening only in six government facilities right now across the region, where government provide, I think, about 2 million or so to patients who are indigent, who are poor. But that program also have its own lapses. There's a need to really, clear and make it more open, publicize it more so that poor and indigent patients will, and also expand it more to other regions. But government have, and also National Health Insurance Authority have also begun to cover some cancer treatment and diagnosis.
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon, Swat and the guests. Great conversation out there. Thank you, says Hafsat. Hi, Swat. What's the name of the program you just... Okay. Now, this is... this one said, Runcie, we're so proud of what you do. Keep up the good work. Madam Swat Kasa, the Lord is your strength. Emmanuel Omotuibo sends that in. Thank you so much. This one said, please ask your guest for me, where can people who live around Masaka, Nasarawa State get HPV vaccine? Ambassador Afam is asking.
Okay, so for the HPV vaccine, it's usually in the primary health care development, PHCs, the primary health care centers. Yeah, so if the person lives in Nasarawa, he should really try and visit any of the primary health care centers. I'm thinking in my head right now, I can't remember if Nasarawa is actually part of the first phase for the vaccination.
Okay.
However, if Nasarawa is not part of it, the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency are planning the next phase, which I hope they are adding more states as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Please, sir, I have lump in my body very close to my armpit. Can this be cancer? Peace, no, but don't alarm yourself.
We cannot do diagnosis on radio.
Exactly. You need to go check that, right?
So the person needs to really visit any hospital very close to really get that checked out. It could just be any lump. It's not like every tumor is cancerous. In fact, some women have also had tumor in their breasts, which are benign. It's not necessary. Just go check it out. I myself have also had some scare, you understand? And I checked it out and I realized it was nothing.
Wow.
So we all have something in our lives sometimes that really scares us. So please go check it out. Don't be afraid. It does not mean it's cancer.
Exactly. All right. So wish you all the best there, Noble. Sunday, my Tama said, good afternoon, Swat and the guests. Kindly avail us with your contact. I don't know if that is possible, but Runcie will take that decision. This one said, causes and prevention wasn't discussed. That's the strength of this conversation. I thought we talked about that.
Yeah, maybe the person wants us to talk a lot more about things like, being more active because we talk more about vaccination. That was when we talk about prevention. I think it's important to mention quickly that, if you are actually if you are currently smoking, really, smoking, or even you have access to secondhand smoking, this is the time to rethink about it because smoking is one major, cause of cancer. Another one, again, is to limit your intake of alcohol. How does alcohol cause cancer? Is that alcohols really put a lot of pressure on our intestine, especially the intestine responsible for breaking food down, which is the liver. So if you're really almost always drinking a lot of alcohol, especially the hard one, reduce it. People will always say all those are boa and all the rest, that it washes their system. It's not true. Those things really cause a lot of harm in our body because they were not checked by NAFDAC. They were not checked to be very useful. Then we also need to talk about another thing again is that people need to do for prevention is skin bleaching. Bleaching cream has become the new norm now. You see women, if women don't look fair, they just believe they don't look beautiful. So that's the problem. People, need to really stay away from those things because it could cause skin cancer. Another thing I just wanted to talk quickly because we're running out of time is really about Nigerians are beginning to be more European than Europeans. Beginning to be more American than the Americans. People want to eat processed food. People want to eat all this sausage, processed meat, and all the rest of them, hot dog and all the rest. This is the time to begin to rethink about your lifestyle.
The choices.
Because processed meat has been found to really link to so many type of cancer. And sometimes some of these processed meat that are brought into this country were processed in a place where you see a chicken just grow very, very fast in it, So this, we really encourage people to eat well, have good exercise. Exercise is also another thing. Cancerous tumors survive more in an unexercised body. So people should really, really exercise as well.
Okay, Destiny Anthony said, good afternoon, Wanyama Swat. And our guest, I don't think we are doing enough to help people fighting cancer. Getting cancer can actually make a family sink into poverty because you pay for everything. I want to thank Okapi Center Cancer Children Foundation for helping kids with cancer. Right, and I think that's it. So let's talk about this walk for cancer that is holding. Tell us everything we need to know about that.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so to commemorate World Cancer Day, Project Pink Blue and partners, we are really putting together, we're putting together, 2 events. We have the World Cancer Day Walk, which is a 5-kilometer walk happening in Transcorp Hilton.
Okay.
And what we are doing on that day is that we're doing a small walk, and then after the walk, we provide free breast cancer screening, prostate cancer, cervical cancer screening, hepatitis screening, and
all of them are free?
All of them are absolutely free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're also providing vaccination, the HPV vaccination for children who are from 9 years to 14. So please, if you're listening to me, bring your child who is from 9 years to 14 years to come at the event, and we're going to provide vaccination absolutely free. And the event is starting from 7 a.m. and it's at Transcorp Hilton. We also have another part of the event which is more for stakeholder that is happening on on Monday the 5th by 12 p.m. at Transcorp Hilton as well.
Okay, so Transcorp Hilton.
Yes.
The walk will be this Saturday, right?
This Saturday.
From
yes.
what time to what time?
From 7 to 4 p.m.
7 to 4 p.m.
Yes.
All right. Then is it afterwards that people will now come back to Transcorp and then have the screening?
Exactly.
All
so
right.
we'll take the walk and go around and come back.
Okay.
After coming back, then we can start the free screening.
The free screening.
Yes.
All right. So avail yourself, guys. I mean, I think it's a great opportunity, especially women, if you need to do your mammogram. What about the men for prostate?
The men, we have prostate cancer screening.
Prostate cancer screening, especially people who are close to 40 and
exactly.
or is it 40 above?
Exactly. 40 and above. Yes.
And then all other ones that will be available. Bring the girl child if you have, so that they can also have their free HPV vaccination, right?
No, HPV vaccination. Yeah, you're correct. Yes.
Any other?
No.
Okay. All right. I think that's it. So, Runcie, I think we've done justice to this conversation, right? I mean, is there any other thing you want people to know before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I would just say is that, anyone listening to me there, just really, really try your best to really support people impacted by cancer, because it's such a disease that is really increasing in this country at this time. So it's really important to support the people who have this disease already, and also for us to do what we can to reduce the risk of having this disease, because it's such an expensive disease to treat. So it's better you are able to prevent it than waiting for it to come.
Indeed. Wow. We've been talking with Runcie Chidebe, the Executive Director of Project Pink and Blue, telling us all about World Cancer Day, things we need to know about cancer, diagnosis, causes, prevention, and a lot more. Thank you so much, Runcie, for what you and your team are doing. We really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
And also for that free screening you guys are offering. I think it's so amazing. And all of us will try.
And I also want to thank Nigerian Info, and also want to thank you, Swat, yourself. I mean, you have been part of this
right from time. Yes,
this is 10 years anniversary. I know you might not remember. When I was a copper.
Yes,
when we started, I you're one of our first ambassadors. So really appreciate Nigerian Info for all the support.
Thank you so much. I mean, to see that you're waxing stronger and stronger every day just gives me a lot of pride and I'm happiness. Wish you all the best, Runcie.
Thank you.
And regards to the team. All right, guys, this is where we draw the cutting on this conversation. I hope it has helped you that much. I hope you avail yourself for the free screenings so that at least you would know your status and you would also do what is needful. We'll take a quick break and then we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Can I have your attention, please?
The news, information, and the right conversation are.
Hi everyone, my name is Swat. That's the name my father gave me, but you can always call me Her Vocal Majesty. I'm the host of The Sunny Side on 95.1 Nigeria Info. It takes place every weekday, noon to 3 p.m., where we get to have all the lovely contemporary conversations. If your days are normally long and gloomy, well, not anymore, because I'm here to make it all bright and sunny for you. So join me. It's an invitation. You don't want to miss out.
This is Nigeria Info.